How do you take down your top nemesis right after she dragged you through the trenches barely 14 days ago? It is not just about the win. It is about sending a message so powerful the whole circuit notices. That is precisely what Aryna Sabalenka pulled off, because this was no ordinary Miami Open semifinal. It felt deeply personal and completely deliberate. In all honesty, this might be the moment the rest of the women's tour realized something terrifying. Sabalenka is doing way more than just winning lately. She is actually transforming. Even before the match kicked off, Sabalenka hinted she had not even reached her highest gear yet. She actually gave herself a rating of 8 out of 10 despite being on a massive tear. Just think about that for a second. Most pros would give anything to be playing that well and still claim they are not at their peak. But Sabalenka kept spotting flaws. She identified room for growth, and versus Elena Rybakina, she showed exactly what that final 20% looks like in practice. What we witnessed was essentially total domination. Right from the opening point, you could sense the shift in energy. This was not the same Sabalenka who was barely clinging to a match point at Indian Wells. This version appeared sharper, more composed, and far more lethal in the nuances. Of course, that signature explosive power was still there. However, her restraint, her poise, and her tactical choices were what really stood out. It seemed she was no longer just reacting. She was calling every single shot, and Rybakina was not even having an off day. That is the wild part. It is why this rivalry is so compelling, as neither player ever truly falls apart under pressure. It comes down to who can hold on to a flawless rhythm the longest, and tonight Sabalenka never even blinked. She went on a tear where she took 6 consecutive games from one of the most reliable and dangerous players on the planet. Streaks like that do not happen by accident. It is not just momentum, it is total command. This is where the story gets juicy. After the final point, Sabalenka did more than just celebrate. She did not say she got lucky or that things fell her way. She dropped a line that should give her future opponents nightmares. "I did everything exactly right." Usually athletes say that kind of stuff casually, but it hits harder when a powerhouse like Sabalenka feels she is executing perfectly. That is when she becomes nearly impossible to contain. Let's be real. This was about more than just beating Rybakina. This was about figuring her out. 2 weeks ago, Sabalenka was in survival mode, fending off match points and nearly losing. This time, there was zero drama or panic, just pure authority from start to finish. That is what evolution looks like. It is the kind of progress that can turn a tight rivalry into a one-sided affair. But then the plot thickens. Sabalenka herself made it quite clear that she actually loves this rivalry. She feeds off of it. She literally mentioned how Rybakina forces her to the limit, which is why she is able to produce such elite tennis. That reveals everything about her competitive psyche. She is not intimidated by the toughest challengers on tour. She actually needs them, which is exactly why the upcoming match might be even more significant. Now the only thing standing between Sabalenka and the Miami title is Coco Gauff. This is where things get tricky because Gauff is a different animal. She is faster plays, better defense, and is far more unpredictable during the long rallies. Most importantly, she has already proven she can take Sabalenka down in the biggest moments. Their career record is dead even, but Gauff has the upper hand in finals, which matters because finals are a mental game. It is all about managing the nerves and delivering when the entire tournament is on the line. Gauff has shown she can handle that pressure against Sabalenka, but there is one question nobody is asking yet. Is this current Sabalenka the same player Gauff has beaten before? Honestly, it does not look like it. This version isn't just swinging hard and hoping for the best, she is meticulously building points and picking her spots. She is orchestrating matches instead of just surviving them. Meanwhile, Gauff isn't just showing up to take part. This is effectively her home turf. The local crowd will be roaring for her, and her motivation is through the roof. She has already stated she wants this trophy as much as a major, when a player says that they aren't holding back. So we have the perfect matchup. The world number one playing her best tennis against a young icon in front of her home fans. On top of that, history is at stake. Sabalenka is chasing a lot more than just another piece of silver. She is aiming for something only a few legends have ever managed, winning Indian Wells and Miami back-to-back. That is more than just a tough task, it is legendary. It is the type of feat that defines a dominant season. Sabalenka is just one win away from making it happen, but there is a catch. Being that close to a milestone can be dangerous, as the pressure of making history is heavier than winning a final. Everything hinges on heavy expectations and the constant need to prove you are worthy of that world number one ranking. That's exactly why things get so unpredictable. Even if Sabalenka is flawless, Gauff will find ways to test her mental grit. She's going to extend the rallies and force her opponent to hit that one extra ball every single time. Her aim is to push Sabalenka out of her rhythm since this showdown isn't strictly about raw power or foot speed. It likely comes down to grit discipline and who handles the pressure better. Now, here is something else to think about. Sabalenka framed the final in a unique way, speaking about the long rallies, the emotions, the aggression, and the fun. That word, fun, is telling. When a pro enjoys these high-stakes moments, it means they're relaxed and lethal, a major warning for Gauff. If Sabalenka plays with that loose, controlled style we saw during her win over Rybakina, we might see something truly special. Yet tennis rarely sticks to the script. This final is fascinating because one side has all the momentum right now. The other side is driven by pure hunger. It is a clash between absolute dominance and an unshakable sense of belief. Somewhere in the middle, we have a match that could swing either way. Now, let me ask you a question. After watching Sabalenka dismantle Rybakina so easily, do you think anyone is actually capable of stopping her at this point? Or is Gauff about to stun everyone on home soil? This isn't just a final, it feels like a massive turning point. Either Sabalenka solidifies her reign and reaches a new peak, or Gauff proves the future of the sport has already arrived. Honestly, I'm thrilled to see what happens. That semifinal suggests we are about to watch an intense season-defining championship battle. This might just be the specific moment we look back on as the day the entire tennis landscape finally shifted.